All right. And I'll share this recording with you guys if you want to watch it again. I'm going to say for Moya, his last name is Moya, M-O-Y-A, on hold until we figure out what's going on. I should probably have a sit down with him and talk about, things are changing.
Mm-hmm.
Could you do online? Is this something that just sort of get a read on him.
Right. The nice thing is, I think everybody is understanding of being on hold right now, so there's not as much of a rush.
Yep. This has a little bit to do with budgets, but it's got the performers as the next thing. I think we may want to diversify just besides the faculty. We might be able to hire 2 or 3 or 4. If we don't do the ensemble, if we're doing Plan B, we might be able to have 4 people come in and be additional performers than the faculty. Does that make sense to you?
Yep.
And we'll wait until.
But so it depends on how much we would charge for the camp and just what the budget looks like.
What's your gut?
Well, I'm not sure. It depends on how much time we're requiring and how much we're offering in terms of an experience. I think $500 or $600 for a 1 or 2 week online class, that's a lot of money. Depending on what they're getting.
Yep. Can you see me scrolling down to the bottom down here?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just saying depends on the experience we're offering. Maybe 500 plus. We don't know. Okay.
It's hard to know like how much people like how to quantify an online experience, because you're still getting people's time, you're still getting information. It's convenient in a way, but
Sarah has an experience running a camp online through McPhail, and I'd love to hear her feedback on this as well.
Yeah.
But I think it's helpful to know that it's going to be a fraction of the full cost. $1,500 is the 2-week experience. Is that right, Seth?
The two week is 2,000, like 2,100.
2,100, and what's the 1 week? 15?
I think 1050 or 11.
Oh, it's 11. Okay, so it's 2,100. Oh, it's about $1,000 less for the 1 week experience.
It's just like double.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's
okay.
a question that I just thought of. So one thing that's tricky online is when, even if you're not trying to synchronize anything, let's say I was just playing the saxophone for you or something, it's really hard to get a high quality stream so that somebody could hear the intricate features of music that they have written.
Yep.
And so we'd need to either talk about the technology that would need to be in place so that you could hear a good live reading of something you wrote. And if not that, then a reading would have to be pre-recorded and then played for the student while you talk about it or something like that.
The interesting thing about this course at Stanford, Stanford is talking about internet protocols, settings for your internet protocols to minimize latency, which is the thing about the delay, is the term that is used to describe that. So latency goes to nearly 0. It never goes to 0 because you're sending things back and forth, but the latency goes to almost 0, and you have to know something about the IP, the internet protocols that you need to set your computer and your recording equipment at. And they use there's some, I don't know the course, but it talks specifically about how to reduce latency to near 0 and to maintain high quality recording at the same time. So I don't know the answer to this, but yes, I think you're right. And maybe this is something, if we do with solo instruments, it's just a video. We don't do this with each other. We just record it. Like if Max Friedman sends a recording to Maria Jetty, or a piece to Maria Jetty, she then records it, and then they talk about the recording.
Right. So I think that definitely needs to happen, where the student gets a recording of their piece, and then they could have an online conversation with whoever performed it about it, maybe listen to it together online or something like that.
Oh yeah.
That feels very personal and personalized.
And
whereas,
expensive.
That's right. That's what they're paying for.
Yep.
And what they're not paying for is, let's just say I killed myself and came up with an incredible set of theory videos that I recorded beforehand.
Yeah.
You can actually go on YouTube and find all the theory videos you want.
That's right.
And there's no sense in me trying to do that and then think that that's what they're going to pay for.
But you are paying for the curating of the great videos that do the thing that you're suggesting are already existing.
Right.
So you're being paid as a curator.
So that could be helpful, but I think the personalized experience, which definitely includes online composition lessons.
Yes.
I think that's huge. And at that point, you're paying performers to read their works.
That's right. And to act as sort of a composition teacher, a performance coach.
Yep.
And you could have a conversation watching the same videos. We're watching this document right now that's I'm sharing with you guys. You can also share videos. So it's possible for you to have a YouTube and then have a Zoom conversation. You're watching the same video, but the student is getting both the composer and the performer and then themselves, and then it could be the whole class. You could have as many people want to come in. So it becomes that's what you're getting, is a much more, and you're getting a much different experience, but that's one way for this to be a group dynamic experience where people can contribute ideas and suggestions on how to do better. And we can share the score. Both Sarah and I have played back a finale score and then given feedback to each other through the sound and the score itself. She was sharing her song cycle that she did. So that's something that's also possible to be done. So I'm just going to say until May 4th, we'll know about performers. I think it's this all has to do with budgets as well. I met with Dare to Chadwick in March last year. I said we would get a proposal for her to give us financial support. I will write to her again and say, is it too late for us to do that? Because I think she'd be willing to match whatever ASCAP is paying for us. So it's roughly 20.
Okay. Here's something interesting about that just occurred to me. ASCAP is giving what, so $2,000 or $3,000? Is it
$2,500? Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah.
And typically, those scholarships are kind of a drop in the bucket for students actually paying their way.
Yep.
If the tuition was way less, we could say the cost of the camp is $600, but if you sign up before camp starts, then we'll give you a $250 scholarship.
Right.
And just knock their cost in half. Yeah. So the scholarships become much more valuable to us.
Yeah, exactly. I put down other music industry people who could come in and be part of a Zoom session. And I think Deirdre would like to do it. I think ASCAP would like to do it. Do we want to use colleges and universities to have a session about this? I was very tenuous about that. But this is what the students, the alumni were saying. Well, the guy at Lawrence University would love to talk to students. Well, that's recruiting. And I'm not sure we want to do that, but maybe that's a Friday or a Thursday evening. Anybody wants to come can come and listen. It's like a college fair sort of event. What's your thought on that? We don't have to decide that right now, but that's something that kids have. Competitions. We've talked about we've used this, the salons, as a chance to talk about competitions and how to shop for them and how to find them. What do you think, Seth?
I'm fine with that as long as they can participate. And the more that they participate, and sort of talk to each other in the process,
Awesome.
the better. And
Right.
the more that we just talk at them, the worse.
I agree. And the same thing with the other camps that people have attended. And I think we could even ask to come to a Zoom session alumni who've gone through our camp and are now gone into college. We could do something like that where they talk about their own experience. What did you say, Eric?
I said that is good.
That is good. That is good.
I like that.
I agree. Seth's absolute idea is right. We may have to. Hi, baby. What's her name again?
Elsie.
Elsie.
Hi. There you go. Hasn't quite made the connection with the screen yet.
Where is that coming? Is that, I don't see you puckering up, Dad. Hey, how's the house working out, Seth?
It's coming great.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'll send you some pictures.
I want to see it. I know there was like this huge plan and you're getting ready for the baby and then, Mariah, how do you like the house?
I like it quite a lot. It's turning out well.
Wonderful. So's the baby. The baby turned out really well.
She was incubated very well.
So I'm looking at the technology. We may end up having to buy a monthly subscription to Zoom. That would be an institutional thing where we could have a lot more people, and we're only doing it for like 2 months or something like that. But that's one of the budgeting questions is, what do we need? How much does it cost? And that'll help us determine what we should charge for the camp.
Right.
That makes sense? We aren't going to pay for the DAWs where there's free DAWs online, isn't there, Eric? Yep,
there are.
And video conferencing, if we have a lot of people, we have to pay for something. Multi-track online platforms, I have listed there. There's a thing called Acapella. There's another one called Sound Trap, T-R-A-P. I'm going to put in the chat line the websites so you guys can see it.
Are these like collaborative DAWs based kind of, or?
It's multi-track. It's multi-track. You lay down one track. You do one track at home. Somebody at their home studio lays down another track. You figure out what the volume levels are, whether you're using a phone, if you're using different microphones, and then you try to standardize that approach for the recording, and you're able to sync it and link it up so that it works.
That's very cool.
Yep. So those are the two, and they're also subscription-based services. Soundtrap is the one that Acapella and Soundtrap are two that schools are using now. There may be many more. I don't know. But it is an online multi-track platform that you can record to.
Hey, Eric.
Yes.
Hey, Eric. Sorry to interrupt, but what's your phone number? For some reason, I don't have it in my phone.
What's my what? What's my phone number? Oh.
Yeah.
320-583-6995.
Oh. What's the 320-587-9567?
Oh, that's my parents' home phone number.
320. Oh, 320. That's not 302 or something like that. I get it. Okay. I'm going to get rid of your parents' phone number is what I'm going to say.
That's fine by me and by them.
Thanks for sending the pictures, by the way.
Yeah, you were wondering about the house project.
Yeah.
It's about 95% done now. So
fantastic.
We're zeroing in.
Awesome.
Last thing I remember hearing Seth was like, what was it? You were like tunneling like a hose in the ground or something. I don't know.
I was working in my crawl space.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's probably what I
okay.
was doing last time. So what ended up happening was in the fall, it was this mad rush to try to get the house livable enough to have a place to set up the crib for Elsie when she was born. And we ended up, Elsie was born a week early, but the last day that we could have had the inspection done, we got it done, so we were able to get set up. And then we were pretty much, it was like everything was roughly ready to go when Elsie was born, and then we had a lot of the finished work that we got done in November and December. So since then, it's looked mostly livable. And then what we've been doing the last couple months is finishing up a couple things that were in the addition that weren't quite done yet, like extra bathrooms and stuff.
Is
Okay.
the sunlight that's coming in the upper right-hand corner of your picture, is that the window, or is that just reflections coming from outside?
No, that's the window. So in that picture of the fireplace, you can see those little windows on either side of it.
Yeah.
And that's what that is.
Is that what are they called, piano windows?
I don't know if they're called that, actually.
The piano windows is that you could put your upright piano against the wall and the window would be above it.
Okay. It might, that might be what it is.
Yeah. All right. I think, what do we have to do now? What are the tasks that we need to get done?
I think the first task is communicating with the people that are signed up this year, or communicating with people that would have thought of coming this year but maybe haven't signed up yet. So basically last year's students.
Okay.
And just giving them some clear communication on the fact that we are doing something and we want them to be a part of it, whatever it is.
Yep. All right.
And then letting everybody know that we will reach a decision when we know more at the first part of May. And
the reason I'm saying May 4th is that is the day that Minnesota's governor is going to make an adjustment on the next stretch of time. So we had that conversation yesterday with the governor. He made the announcement yesterday, May 8th, May 9th. What's today? Lost track.
April 7th? Oh,
yeah,
no.
It would have been May 8th. May 8th, he said, April 8th, he said, May 4th, we'll have another conversation and see how things are going. And so we don't know yet. The answer to that question is we do not know that. But May 4th would be a good time to talk.
So I guess the question at that point might be, even if society is going, what are the chances the University of Minnesota is going with anything?
University of Minnesota is going to run with the governor's plan. If he says we're going to keep safe, they will stay safe. There won't be anybody going on. The other question is, what is our interest in having a Twin City-based thing? We could find a room, and we could find a place to do this, and we could find players. So that's like A+ or B- or whatever that is going to be. We could figure that out on May 4th, whether they're even going to let us. Augsburg is locked down. Plymouth Church is locked down. A lot of the places we get for free, you can't get in. There's nothing going on. So
it's going to be your house.
Yeah, it could be my house. Somebody in the dining room, someone in the back room, somebody up here in the living room, somebody upstairs. But that it's going to be difficult if they shut it down for another stretch. We don't know what the situation will be at the other end of that time. If they say June 4th, we'll have a conversation. Then it's getting hard to do this. May 4th, I think, is going to be hard for us to promote in a way that we're going to get a whole bunch of more students. But I think we will retain the people we want, and we might get a couple. But I don't think we're going to have a huge. So we're going to have a much smaller budget, but the budget isn't going to be paying for room and board. That's the other part of this. So, yeah. So what about communicating with Pat and Emily?
I can do that. I can let them know what we talked about.
That's great. Scheduling. Oh, one of the things that, if you look up here under this stretch right in here, up to now, we've always had studio kids write one very short piece, which is that first prompt that the composer in residence gives, and then another piece that they get for the Sunday salon, and then one for JCI. I don't know. That's something you're gonna have to talk about and think about, Seth. If that's even the same idea. But I'm listing here the JCI experiences that people especially loved, and that's what the JCSP experiences mean. So I don't know if we have to decide that. Somebody said, let's have a movie night. Let's have a book club on important books, or we could do score or recording studies, and do that as a joint activity where lots of people can listen to the same music or look at the same score, and use that as a social thing.
That's a good idea, actually, to listen to a piece together, and then have a like running ticker of comments.
Yep. And that's what
that's it.
We could show a movie on YouTube, for example, or a recording with a score that, on a YouTube score that has the music, and you can see the score as it going, and people can do a chat box down here in the corner. I don't know if you've opened the chat, but it's under more at the top of the screen. You can push more, and you can look at the chat. And I've been adding comments in sessions today.
Oh yeah.
And then the field trip experiences. That was something people wanted to do. We can't do that together, so that sort of goes by the wayside. Somebody liked the performer draft. Lots of people loved the idea. Whose idea was that, by the way? I just want to ask that question. Was that me that came up with that idea?
What idea?
The draft night. That was my idea.
Legendary idea.
Yeah, legendary idea. And then, but we had expectations of what people would get at the end, and I should have actually sat down here and done another expectation. Is the songwriters is they get a recording, and the recording.
That's the prize.
It's the recording process too. That's two.
Yeah.
So
yeah, could say in some sort of studio, hopefully.
Well, I mean, where did you record
the
studio?
Last year?
Yeah.
Their computer was the studio, basically.
Right.
The idea was, I mean, we had the microphone and the preamp that the JCSP owns, but once you have that, your laptop is a studio. And the idea was, if you have this basic minimal level equipment, when you leave, you can do all this at your house.
So how would you recommend that students, as part of their camp experience and something beyond, you will probably need the following things?
Yeah. And I talked to Pat about it. I don't know why I didn't reach out to you, Seth, or you, Randall, but I think I was just talking to Pat anyway. But yeah, I think that there should be like a MIDI keyboard and a microphone. Look at this COVID equipment.
Yes. That's what this whole thing is. It's not me trying to be Billy the Kid. Okay, go ahead.
I think that there is like a minimal amount of equipment that would be excellent to have. Then it's basically a microphone and a preamp. MIDI keyboard and a preamp.
And a preamp. So is that something people can rent for a month or a week?
Yeah, you can do that. You can get relatively inexpensive ones.
Yep.
I haven't looked into renting, like in Minnesota, what that is like. Obviously, I live out here, and
well, depending on where the student is, all we really need to be able to do is say, here's a couple of websites if you want to buy this equipment, and then share that with them. And if you want to rent it, your local audio, it'll be the following kinds of places, and then they'll take care of it themselves, and it'll be relatively affordable.
Yep. Yeah, it will.
So, okay, I'm through my list. What do you guys have? Anything else?
I need to think. I need to brainstorm, man.
Use this and even more stuff. Come up with other ideas too. But use this document, and then we can share it with each other.
Yeah.
Or are you going to send out the document?
I will send this revised thing right now. If that makes sense.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So are you guys bored? Are you home all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm home a lot. Yeah, I've been going into school actually to do my work.
Is the school physically open? People can get in?
Well, they have it, have the gates locked down so that you have to be faculty basically to get on. But we're allowed to go there and do our work for our online classes if we want.
Are the students there?
That's nice.
No. The students are all gone.
All
right. How are you doing, Randall?
Projects.
I'm super productive. I'm getting performance. I got a featured performance on February 14th this coming year, and I'm working on contracting the players, and it's a one-man show, so I'm coming up with a plan, and it's not going to be a Valentine's Day plan. I'm just sorry, I can't do it. But so I'm doing a lot of fun things. I'm recording, working on technology, teaching privately online. Remember Mandy Isaacson? She's been texting me while we're setting up a meeting, a lesson. Where do I do an attachment? Jesus. Anyway, I'll figure out. Oh, here's the attachment. Okay, got it. So like that, there's a lot of things, a lot of projects going on, and there's the document going in your way. And I'm not bored. I've got Ben here. That's never boring. And Marilee is here, and she's a fistful right there. So and it sounds sort of like you, Seth. I mean, there are people you can interact with. If I lived alone in a bachelor apartment, I would be going buggy. I would absolutely be going buggy. But we share cooking stuff. We clean, and we're making music, and we're doing projects. And Marilee's teaching online all the time. So everybody's got earphones like these, and we're talking on the phone and on Zoom sessions and Skype and FaceTime, and it's just a different place to work, not a different type of work, is basically how I describe it.
Do you go out at all?
We get up early. Here's our secret. We have routines. We get up early, 7 o'clock, get in the car, drive to a drive-through Starbucks, which we can still do, and then order like a pastry and a coffee, come back, and then go to work. Then we have lunch, and we have let's have lunch, and we sit down, eat. Shower regularly. I want to point that out. There's body care going on.
You reminded me to do something. Let me write that down.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad I could help. I'm just looking at this monthly hosting for Zoom. It just came up with a message telling me it's $12.49 a month for a year. So it's about $150, $160 for the year. So we could get
that's worth it.
We could do 2 months, and it would cost $25. That's fine. That's a corporate account. So we could do this fairly easily. But anyway, then we have schedule. We just have a schedule. What we're watching right now is The West Wing, for 7 seasons, 1 episode a day. That's like more than 100 episodes. So if this thing goes long enough, we could get to the 7th season.
Wow. It's never been done. It's
no,
like Everest.
But we're not binge watching. We just watch 1 a day. So there's some,
Nice.
we watch that together. So there's certain things we do together, and every other time we're apart together.
Right.
Yeah. So how are you doing, Seth? Your schedule is going to school.
Yeah, and we're also putting together the bathrooms I mentioned.
Yeah.
Here, I'll show you guys actually.
Excellent. Look at those piano windows.
Tour.
So I'm in the addition now, and we've had this master bedroom done since the fall, but we're putting together this walk-in shower. I don't know how well you can see that.
Sure.
But and all this tile work just takes a ton of time.
Yeah.
So I got that done a couple of weeks ago, the tiling, and Mariah's been doing the grouting in there.
Keep her busy.
That's right. And then what I'm working on right now is the tiling in the upstairs bathroom. So
is that the old part of the house?
What's that?
Is that in the older part of the house?
Man.
No, this is the addition.
Got it.
This is the tile I put on the floor. And then I'm working on the shower as we speak. You can see the red rubber kind of underlayment for the tile, and then you can see this subway tile that I'm putting.
God, that looks spectacular, Seth.
So,
wow.
So I spend a couple hours a day doing that, and then schoolwork, and then we're actually watching the show White Collar.
There you go.
You guys know that show?
No, I don't.
It's pretty good. Do you know the show The Mentalist?
Yeah.
It's kind of like The Mentalist, except they're not just investigating murders. They investigate like art thieves.
White collar crime. White collar crime. Yeah, cool.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and we go for long walks.
Yeah, we do that too.
The walks have been critical.
What about you, Eric?
It's been rainy here, though.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah, it has not lined up well over here. It feels like when my friends it's like a nuclear winter out here. No one leaves. You can't even go outside. But no, it's going well. I'm about half of my students I'm able to teach online, which is really great.
Yeah.
And I've just been able to I've been able to be productive with like all these like kind of creative things.
Yeah.
And some days I'm in a really great mood and I'm creative and productive, and then other days I'm like,
blah,
let me out of here. But most of it's been pretty good. I've been able to stay occupied for sure.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
I think we are at we're at a great advantage, because what we normally do is what we're doing.
I know.
I didn't realize I was such a hermit, such a homebody, but I am.
Well, you saw all those jokes about
we're writers.
The social distancing and bass players or something, where
Felice told you that.
They don't have to change anything they do.
No. Except you have to chat to people online. That's new. That's a new thing. That's reaching out in a much more aggressive way.
So I'm going to send you guys a couple more pictures.
Awesome.
And this is the last thing that I've been doing with my time that I don't normally have time to do, and that is some culinary exploits.
Yes.
Wow.
I like doing this stuff when I can, but I have this really sweet kitchen now.
Yes.
So there's a whole bunch of stuff that I actually have time to do that I've never had time to do before. So.
All right, I will look at this stuff. Thank you, Seth.
I recently got a smoker, and so I've been putting lots of different
baby
on that.
Wow. What is that? Bread?
Yep, I've been making a few different kinds of bread.
Wow.
And I just did ribs on the smoker for the first time this last Saturday. And I was making some pizza, made cordon bleu. So.
Wow. That looks spectacular. The pizza? Yep.
The biggest bummer is not being able to have people over to help me eat it.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to be fat next time I see you, Seth.
Put on some pounds, I will say that.
Oh, that's fantastic. The house looks
These
spectacular.
look like they'd be in a magazine.
Home
The
Beautiful.
house and the food.
Home Beautiful is the one I would think.
I want you guys to come visit me and I'll feed you.
Feed me and I can sleep. Is there a master bedroom for me too?
There'll be a bedroom and your own bathroom.
Wow.
I don't know if you ever have a visit to South Carolina, but you should.
I should. This looks great. Really, really looks great. Oh my. The bread looks, you make the bread?
Yep.
That's spectacular.
I got into making bread a couple of years ago. Of course, I didn't make much last year. I was
no
house project, but now I have time, so.
All right. All right. Well, I'm gonna sign off, guys. I think we have 2 minutes and 48 seconds left. This has been very helpful and very productive. Thank you.
I agree. Thanks, fellas. Looking forward to this.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, we'll see ya.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye, Seth. Bye, Randall. Bye, Sarah.
Bye. Bye, Eric. If I can figure out how to turn it off. There we go. There we are.